to give a little acknowledgement to Sister Mayfield. I want her to know I appreciate her. Like I said, many know that have been a part of Zion. She was the one that spearheaded the Young Missionaries. And she took us a lot of places and instilled in us a missionary mind. So I thank and praise the Lord for her and for instilling that in us. Because like I said, we went many places in the city helping people that were less fortunate. And like I said, that is still in my heart today to do those different kind of things, whether it be in the state or outside the state or, as you can see, globally. I never thought I would be able to go to such a place before in my life. But I thank praise the Lord this year, as I stated, I had a missionary trip with my job. My job afforded me to go to Cape Town, South Africa through an initiative that they had called Cross-Cultural Solutions. So the initiative started back in 2011, where they sent 200 employees all across the globe from the United States, outside the United States, to different places to do missionary work. We would stay there for 2 weeks and help those people in that particular country or region. So I was there in Cape Town, South Africa, and I worked in a daycare center for 2 weeks. So I know I don't have a lot of time, and again, 2 weeks and being in a country that you've never seen before, I have like hundreds of pictures. So I know I wasn't going to be up here very long, so I tried to condense it to just talk about some of the things that I saw while I was there, and like I said, to also talk about the project in itself. So first thing I wanted to say, season. Many people think South Africa is hot or warm all the time. Some people have said that to me. It's not. When I got there, it was winter. That was very surprising and different. It was about 50 or 60 degrees when I got there. And again, in August when I left, you know, it was like 70 or 80 degrees here. So it was a very different climate. You could see the kids, and I have pictures of the kids where they are in coats, they're in gloves, they're in hats, because it was their winter. Their spring did not start until September. I also did some excursions while I was there, just kind of knowing the history of Cape Town. So one of the pictures you see up there now is I had an opportunity to go on a boat to go look at seals. So there was seal watching that they had. I also went to a place called Cape Point, which is the tip point of Cape Town or Cape of Good Hope. So that was the dimensions, the latitude before you would climb up. You would be going up a steep hill. Now, I have to say I couldn't go all the way. I had to stop midstream because it was a little steep. But I did get like quarterways up to the point. And there you can see, from where you can look up, you can see the top of the Cape Point. And then you went down to what's called Cape of Good Hope, which is the southernmost point of Africa. And like I said, that's where I was, standing there next to the sign, Cape of Good Hope, right? There was also penguins there, and there I am. The penguins were underneath a bridge, so there I am with the penguins behind. Like I said, we were able to see the penguins there. Again, this is just some of the pictures, the scenery that you saw. This was on top of what's called Lion's Head. So we would, and again, it was steep, and I'm afraid of heights. So we drove up this mountain, and you can see this was up at the top, and it was getting close to dusk. So again, you can see the clouds covering over with the sun kind of coming through the little points of the clouds. And you can't probably see it very well, but there's a little small strip of an island, and that is called Robben Island. That is where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for 18 of his 27 years, so you can see how far away it was from Cape Town itself. So all those that were against apartheid at that time, they were sent to that island. They were called terrorists, is what they called them back then. So anybody that was against the apartheid, they sent them there so that they were not a part of everything that was going on at that time. So that's where Nelson Mandela was, and I did get a chance to go to Robben Island as well. So again, you can see here the picture of the sun kind of beaming through on, and that is the Atlantic Ocean, which is right where Cape Town is. Again, just some pictures of the scenery, the mountains. Like I said, waking up to mountains every morning is simply breathtaking. You just don't see that here in Indiana. Rainbow, not a good picture, but there was a lot of rainbows. We saw rainbows almost every day. There was some type of rainbow in the sky in the mornings. Here's a picture of me standing in front of Nelson Mandela's, where he was in prison, where he stayed. And I have a better picture. So that's where he was, the 18 of his 27 years on Robben Island. That was his quarters that he stayed in. The next few pictures I have talk about one of the historical points in Cape Town, South Africa, is District 6. This is the 6th municipal district of Cape Town. This was a place that former slaves, merchants, and other immigrants lived closely, and it was located near the docks. The residents there were largely colored residents. It was considered quite cosmopolitan because of the intermixing of different ethnic backgrounds, until the government, during apartheid, they considered this place a slum fit for clearance, full of crime and dangerous immoral activities. So during the apartheid back in 1966, the government cleared District 6 and made it a whites-only area. And by 1982, they had removed nearly 60,000 what they call colored or black people from this area. So something that I learned while I was there, we know black people or colored people are black people. In Cape Town, South Africa, they call colored people, and like I said, I'm not meaning any disrespect, but they call colored people biracial people. So any of mixed cultures, they call them colored. So they had whites, they had blacks, which are actually Africans, and then they had colors, which were biracial individuals. So they didn't go with black or white like we see it today. So I thought that was very interesting. But this is, like I said, this is what this place still looks like today. Government has been trying since about, what they told us, since apartheid ended in 1994, they have been trying to remodelize and put back people that were forcibly removed from this place, put them back in this area. But like I said, as you can see, it's still not renovated. It's still not, the houses were removed. Everything was taken out of there except for those people that lived there that were white. And I thought, like I said, that's amazing. And these were the houses that the white people lived in, and like I said, they are still there today. But anything else had been totally demolished, totally removed. And like I said, this is very monumental for them. Like I said, the people there was a guy that was our bus driver from the place that we stayed and took us different places. He used to live in District 6, and he is still today trying to get back into District 6. They have to prove that they live there, which, like I said, I thought was very interesting. They just couldn't say they lived there, but they had to have written paper or proof that they lived in that area in order to get back into the place that they were removed from. And there's a museum there, and like I said, they had on the floor, as soon as you enter in, a map of what District 6 used to look like. And of course, you know, you see Upper Ashley Street, so I had to take a picture because it had Upper Ashley Street. But that really is the map, and there were different places in there. And like I said, these were the signs that were there, and again, Upper Ashley Street. There were signs there that used to be on the streets before it was demolished, and they had made this museum of all those different signs to remember that this is where they used to live, this is the heritage that they had. So I thought that was very impressive, and so much history there within that District 6 museum. There's a place in Cape Town called Bokop, which again is on Signal Mountain, and it's a spiritual home for the Muslim community. So many of the residents there are descendants of slaves from Malaysia who were imported to Cape of Good Hope around the 16th or 17th century. And this is the only place in the region where they are given permission to color their houses. So this is the only place that you'll see bright colors as you see right here. And here's another picture as well. This is the only place they can do colors. Everywhere else it's just the standard build. But this area, because it's owned by a Muslim community, they have been given the right to do colors in this particular area. And it is beautiful, it's breathtaking. And again, they're very hilly, so it was up a climb to even try to get some of these pictures. I did also see animals. I know Dr. Griffith talked about me petting the cheetah. I could not find my cheetah petting picture. I wanted to bring that. I actually did pet a cheetah, but here's one of the signs that you would see when you're going into certain areas where it's a lot, like where we're at in Cape of Good Hope, you saw baboons. So there were signs warning you, don't feed them. Don't have windows open in your car, don't have food in your car, because those baboons will take your food. They will take your bags, they will take everything. So they put signs out, and it was funny. There were some people there, again, from all different nationalities, and they were trying to take a picture next to the Cape of Good Hope, and a baboon came up. And they put their bag on the ground so they could take the picture, and of course, the baboon went for the bag. And the girls start screaming and like they're going to try to get their bag back. And of course, we couldn't see the baboon because of the Cape of Good Hope sign was right in the way. But that baboon must have snarled because the girls started screaming. We were like, leave the bag, don't get the bag. And so just let the baboon have the bag, you know, because they can hurt you. But ended up, the guy that was our tour guide, he had some type of mallet or something and went after that baboon to chase him off, and he ended up dropping the bag and all their stuff because he was chasing him off. But like I said, they were everywhere. Like I said, when we were headed back, we saw a baboon sitting on some guy's car because he got in and got his food. He was sitting on his car eating his food. And I was like, that is crazy. But like I said, you would just see that because, you know, that's, I guess, how they survive is by taking advantage of the people. If you're not paying attention, if you're not watching, like I said, they will break in your car and they will get your stuff. And he was sitting on his car eating his sandwich that he had packed because he left his window open, and the baboon was able to get in and get his food. So again, here's some pictures. Like I said, I was in the car. I was not outside. That was a window right there. So it's not like they could get me. But like I said, they were close enough that you could take a picture. Like I said, we were driving, so it's a little blurry. But there's another picture of a baboon as well that I saw while we were there. I saw hippopotamus, water buffalo, zebra and rhinoceros. And like I said, in this particular place, we went to a game reserve, and we were in an open Jeep. So it was open windows, there were no windows, open, completely open, just the top and something on the side, just completely open. And I have to say it was freezing, all right? Again, because I guess the ocean and the river is so close, and again, it was so cold there, that wind was really blowing, and it was very, very, very cold with no windows, no nothing. So like I said, we were, I would say, from where Sister Heidi is to where I am, that's how close we were to the animals, even in the Jeep. And that's Sister Heidi right here. So we were like right there, that close. So wildebeest. There were elephants up in the hills, not on flat plain, but up in the hills. Springbok, which is, I don't know if you've seen that on Nature or anything. Ostrich, and the lions. That's the oldest one that was kneeling down. The youngest one is the one above him. But as you can tell, he looks kind of aged. If you look at his face, he's very mature. And like I said, that wind was blowing. It was very cold. Again, a female lion. You can see the wind blowing on the young lion. Giraffe, leopard, another leopard, cheetah. This is not the cheetah I pet. That one was in cage. That's not the one, the cheetah that I pet. And here I'm talking about the service that I did. I was at a daycare center, and unfortunately their names are so unique in their cities. I don't want to butcher the name of the city that I was in. I'll call it K. So it was in the city of K, or township in K, which was in the Cape Flats area. So this was not in the nice area of Cape Town, all right? Like I said, the nice area is where I took those first pictures that you saw. So I'm serving here. We were preparing to serve the kids lunch. So I was helping serve lunch and get that ready. And that's the food that they had. Again, it's green, the potato. It's like a soup. It goes over top the rice. I didn't taste it because it was for the kids. So I was trying to be mindful of the kids, I promise. I would have tasted it. I would have tasted it, but it was for the kids, and I wanted to make sure the kids ate. So I didn't try any of their food at the daycare. So these are some of the workers there at the daycare. These are some of the young people that helped the kids on Wednesdays when I was there. And then these are some pictures of the classrooms. The classrooms were from ages, I would say, ages 4 to 6. All right, ages 4 to 6. So this was the age group, the youngest group of kids. And then this is the 5-year-olds. And you can see they're in coats. You can see the teacher in a hat. So like I said, it was cold. And this is the 6-year-old class. This was one of the days that we were able to go outside. Most of the days, like I said, were cold or it was raining. So there wasn't a lot of days where there was a lot of sunshine going on at this particular time. But there was a few days that were nice, and we were able to let the kids go outside and play and get out some of that energy they had. So I did do singing. Ikosa is their primary language for those kids. A lot of those kids did not know English. So it was a challenge to try to teach, but the teachers were there and I would talk English and then they would speak in Ikosa. And Ikosa had some clicking. They would do that while they were talking, and to watch those kids do that, I was amazed. Like I said, we had, when we were in the home, we had Ikosa lessons, and to hear them do that, I'm like, I don't know how I couldn't do it in 2 weeks, but I did learn a few things so I could talk to the kids. So to say hello, you would say molo. So molo is hello. If you're saying hello, everyone is moweni. All right? How are you is Johnny. Sit down, which I learned this one as soon as I got there, shalapansi. So every time I say shalapansi, telling those kids to sit down. Wait is linda. Be quiet, which again I learned that one very quick too, is tula. And like I said, it was a wonderful experience, and like I said, I learned a whole lot. I showed the last few pictures I have is the home that I stayed in. These were the cooks that were in our home. They cooked for us every day, so that was a blessing. So we didn't have to worry about trying to figure out something to eat. Most of the food was fine. It was either chicken or fish. There was nothing outside unique. Well, there was unique, but they did not have for us to eat. It was called, what's called a smiley. That's what it's called. And it is a sheep's head. Yeah. Two of the people there from Lilly actually tried it. I did not. It didn't sound very interesting at all, but they did try it. And what I understood, the reason they call it a smiley is because after the sheep's head is cooked, it looks like it's smiling. And I thought, oh boy, that does not sound very inviting to look at something smiling at you. But they did, one of the guys, and he was actually from France, he did try it and he thought it was great. And I thought, good, okay, thanks. But like I said, I did not try that at all. But these are the living quarters. There was a resource room where we could go and be quiet and be still. We wanted to prepare for the next day. This was our lunch area room, and you can see two of the people from Lilly were in there at the time when I took the picture. This was the resource room where you could get supplies and stuff to prepare for the next day with your kids if you wanted any crafts or anything to take with you.